Every year, LEGO retires some of our most beloved sets in order to make room for some of our future beloved sets. So let's take a look at every Star Wars set they're retiring at the end of this year. The first set on the list is set 40547, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader Brickheads. Even though I'm not so into the Brickheads line, this is still a very good addition to the whole Brickheads collection, and if you are someone who's big into Brickheads or moderately into them, I think this is a set you should really consider picking up, being that Brickheads are usually on shelves for around the year, so I would recommend getting this set sooner rather than later. Also, with the Brickheads line, we have the Tusken Raider Brickheads. In my opinion, one of the better Brickheads, not just in Star Wars history, but in all of LEGO history. I think this one's really unique, and one that I don't think LEGO would consider revisiting in future years, but who knows, I could be wrong with that. Up next is 75257, the Millennium Falcon from the sequels, and this one has been on shelves since 2019, and now is being replaced with the new Dark Side Millennium Falcon. As always, LEGO loves to have a playset Millennium Falcon on shelves, and since they just released a new one, they are saying goodbye to the old one, which is really upsetting because this is a great Millennium Falcon, but this was expected now for a while, and once this Dark Falcon's shelf life is up, I predict that we will see an original trilogy Millennium Falcon, but that is going to be in a few years. 75290, the Mos Eisley Cantina is up next, and this one is really upsetting. This is not only one of the best sets on shelves right now, but I really think in the next 10, 20, 30 years, we will look back and say this is still one of the best sets of all time. It is an elite set, and this is what I'm going to be saying throughout the majority of this video, that if there's a set you really want, go out and act fast, because this is that time when LEGO starts to sell out of these sets, and they're not going to be restocking. As the year winds down, they're going to get their final shipment of all these sets, and once they sell out, that's that. Some stores already have sold out of them, and you can only get them on lego.com. You have to act fast if you're thinking about any of these sets. The Cantina comes with a plethora of minifigures. When we look back in a few years, we're going to think of this set as one of the holy grail LEGO sets. Next up is 75308, the UCS R2-D2, and just like with the Millennium Falcon, the R2-D2 is being replaced by another R2-D2. So this set had a really good shelf life since 2021, and it's one of my favorite sets. I love it. I think it's a great display piece, one of the best buildable characters / droids that we've ever gotten. I'm super happy that it got a really nice shelf life, and it seems like LEGO is going to be headed in the direction of downsizing their droids, as we are expected to also receive a miniature chopper to go along with that miniature R2-D2. Another LEGO Holy Grail set to retire is set 75313, the UCS AT-AT Walker. This one is in a class of its own. You can't compare it to anything else. It is undoubtedly one of the top 10 LEGO Star Wars sets of all time. I think without a doubt in the top 5 for UCS sets. And if it's not in your top 5, it has to be number 6 or 7. It's an elite LEGO set, and not enough good things can be said about this set. This is one of those sets that even though it's had a pretty decent shelf life, it still feels like it needs another year or two with how iconic the ship is and how popular it still is among fans and how many people still want it. So if you're thinking about getting this set, I recommend buying this. If you're debating between this and, let's say, the UCS Millennium Falcon, the UCS Millennium Falcon has no retirement date in sight. I still think we have at least 2 more years with it. So go for the AT-AT now, and you will not regret it. Keeping it with the UCS line, we have Luke's Landspeeder, and this is a pretty good UCS set. You know, it has 2 really nice minifigures with C-3PO and Luke Skywalker. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend buying this set at retail. You could find it elsewhere for way less than retail, and that's the route I'd go with. But once this set retires, I would expect this set to increase in price, obviously above retail. And with how many of these sets are available below retail, I would go that route rather than spending the $240 on it. Boba Fett's Starship Microfighter is next, and if you really like the minifigure, go ahead and pick this one up, but as far as a set, it's a pass for me. I'm not too big on microfighters. I mean, they're solid, but it's nothing that I'm going to go out of my way for. That's just my personal preference, but I will admit the minifigure in this set is very good. Set 75346, from The Mandalorian Season 3, we have the Pirate Snub Fighter, and this is a set that honestly I forgot even existed. It was kind of just there, so I don't really have too much to say about this. I feel LEGO could have just not made this set and no one really would have cared. I feel even when it released in May of 2023, nobody was really I'll say, excited for this set. Everyone overlooked it, and this is one of those sets that I'm not going to particularly miss when it retires, and I'm not going to be looking to get before it retires. A set I'm sure many people are going to be looking to get before it retires is 75348, the Mandalorian Fangfighter vs. TIE Interceptor, another May of 2023 release, and what a set this is. Some awesome minifigures involved with this, and an awesome TIE Interceptor build, along with the Fangfighter build, even though I know a big critique is we didn't see the Fangfighter all that much in this particular scene that the set is depicted from, but regardless, I still think it's pretty cool to get a Fangfighter and a TIE Interceptor. Obviously, you guys know how much I love the TIE ships, so if you are a fan of the Mandalorian or the TIE ships in general, this is a must-have, and for $100, I don't think you can go wrong with this set. Next, we have two helmets retiring with 75350, the Clone Commander Cody helmet, and 75351, the Princess Leia Boushh, or Boushh, I'm not even sure which is the correct pronunciation. So these sets are both retiring, and you might have noticed that Captain Rex isn't on the list. The Captain Rex helmet is going to be extended for at least another year, I'd assume. It's most likely not retiring because it's above and beyond as the bestseller. I don't know that. That's kind of just my personal guess. And I also think since there are rumors of a either Bo-Katan or Jango Fett helmet coming out in 2025, LEGO also wants to have more than one helmet on shelves at the same time. I feel they might think it looks a little silly if there's only one helmet. Who knows? That's just my theory with why they are going to keep one helmet, but I think the more logical answer is because of how good selling the Captain Rex helmet is. So you know I love the helmet collection. I really hope that the rumors are true about another helmet coming next year, and I hope they continue producing the helmets in the future just because there's so many of them that they could do, and they just look so nice as display pieces. Now it's time we say goodbye to some of the diorama sets, starting off with 75352, the Emperor's Throne Room diorama, with what many would consider to be the best LEGO Star Wars diorama set, and it's hard to disagree with this one. I know there is some controversy around the Palpatine minifig not having pupils, and LEGO has been taking away pupils from minifigures as time has gone on, and that is a whole nother discussion to have. But I think Palpatine gets away with it compared to the other minifigs. But back to the Throne Room diorama, there is a Luke Skywalker minifigure and a Darth Vader minifig, and not only is this set great for display, it has so many play features and spots on the set that are meant for your minifigures to be positioned. So between play, between display, you get it all right here with this set. And for the price of $100, just like with the Mandalorian Fangfighter vs. TIE Interceptor, I don't think you will be unhappy with that purchase. The Endor Speeder Chase diorama is also headed out the door, and with some lackluster minifigures, this set kind of got a bad rap. I don't think it's the worst set in the world. I think that it's a fun set, but there could have been some improvements when it comes to the minifigs, so take it or leave it. But if you are someone who wants to have all or most of the dioramas, I think that this is one you should highly consider. 75358, the Tanu Jedi Temple is retiring, and we can only hope now that one Jedi Temple is headed out the door, we will get another Jedi Temple. But with this set, you do get some really cool minifigs, and that's really about it. But besides the minifigures in the set being really cool, I'm not planning on running out and getting this set before it retires. I can go without it. I just think that the figs are really cool, and I just wanted to point that part out. To all of our clone army builders out there, the 332nd Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack is retiring, and I know there's some controversy around helmet holes, but if we can look past that, this is one that the army builders should grab another handful of before it's out the door, just so you can increase the amount of 332nd clone troopers that you have, so do with that as you wish. 75360, Yoda's Jedi Starfighter is retiring, and funny enough, this is included in the 3-in-1 LEGO Star Wars pack that they always have at the end of the year, and that's going to include Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter, and the 501st Battle Pack, and I'd recommend getting that because it's a better bang for your buck right there, and you get 3 awesome sets. So if you want to get Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, I recommend getting that 3-in-1 pack over the Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, especially if you don't have any of those sets. I know that those other 2 sets aren't retiring this year, and you can knock off 3 amazing sets in one go and don't have to worry about missing out on them. Another lackluster set from Season 3 of Mandalorian is 75361, the Spider Tank. This set I only see you getting for 2 reasons. One, for the awesome Bo-Katan minifigure, and two, for the new Darksaber mold. Besides that, I think that the Spider Tank is just a gray blob, and if you pick up this set, just take those pieces from the Spider Tank and use it for mock builds or as just spare parts. 75363 Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter Microfighter, the most overpriced microfighter, coming in at $16 with 2 minifigures, a Mando, and another Grogu. Like I said before, I don't really care too much for the microfighters. I do think that if you want to get a Mando or a Grogu, go ahead and pick up this set, even though both of those minifigs are in a plethora of other sets. But as far as microfighters go, this is pretty good. I like how it looks. Microfighters just aren't for me. The only set from the Ahsoka series retiring is 75364, the New Republic E-Wing vs. Shin Hati Starfighter, packed with some awesome minifigures and a really cool astromech droid, the IKEA astromech droid. I'm pretty sad this one's going. I didn't think it would have retired. I think that the LEGO community really likes this set, and I felt they would have kept all the Ahsoka series sets on shelves for another year. I know the Ghost is going to be on shelves for at least another year. Wouldn't be surprised if that extended through 2026 for the Mando movie, but one set had to give, and LEGO decided on the New Republic E-Wing vs. Shin Hati Starfighter. It's just sad to see it go. One of the best sets I felt that was on shelves at the time, and I like it, especially because it got away from the typical LEGO gray and black colors for ships. It added a little bit of variety, and it really popped out. When you look at your LEGO sets, that particular set pops out, and it just looks different, which was always nice to see. 75365, the Yavin 4 Rebel base, is retiring, and a set that had a ton of hype coming into it left us all flat. A ton of minifigures, which is great, but as far as the set goes, it was a big disappointment. It just feels too cramped, and I feel if they made this set $200 instead of $170, they could have added more and it would have been more of a success. I know we're going up in price, but I feel that would have helped it with giving it more room. When looking at the back of the set, the rooms just felt really cramped. Even though you could fit minifigures inside them, it all just felt cramped and too compact, and the watchtower and the tree was just horrific. The next 3 sets I'm going to combine with the Darth Vader mech, Boba Fett mech, and Stormtrooper mech. These aren't sets that I would be running to pick up. I feel the only way you would pick up these sets are for 2 reasons. One, you want to have every LEGO Star Wars set, or 2, you want the minifigures. But if you really want a minifigure, I think the Boba Fett mech would be the one to get. I really hope this is the end of the mechs. I know we have the Luke Skywalker X-Wing mech. Mechs just aren't too highly received in not just the LEGO Star Wars community, just in the whole LEGO community as a whole. So I hope that this is the end for the mech line. And 75371, the buildable Chewbacca, is also headed out the door. A set that didn't even come out too long ago, coming out in September of 2023. It is now headed off the shelves. I know many people aren't too high on this set. The whole face looks a little bit funny, but with the buildable C-3PO out and the miniature R2-D2, I thought LEGO would have kept this set on shelves for another year to allow people to have the big 3 of Chewbacca, that buildable C-3PO, and that R2-D2, but I guess not. I guess sales aren't too hot with this right now, and LEGO feels it's time to pull it off shelves. I hope this list helped you guys figure out what sets you want to get before they're officially all off shelves. And don't wait too long. Go to your LEGO store now. Go to the LEGO site now and order those sets. You don't want to sit here in late September or November and be saying to yourself, man, why did I wait so long? I've been there more times than I want to admit, and it stings and it never gets easier, so act fast. Let me know in the comments what set or sets you want to pick up before they retire, and I'll see you in the next one.